Welcome to the AAP OMEGA KIT assembly video. Today I will show you how you mount everything together so the kit works. But first let me start with a few images. Right at the beginning you can see the different variations that you can do with this kit. We have, for one, the long version with a long handguard. Then we have a medium version with a medium length handguard and barrel. And then a short suppressed version. Actually, you can unscrew the suppressor, but the barrel will stick out a little. So I would recommend using this version only with a mock suppressor mounted in the front. Here on the next one you can see the different variations you can do. You can choose between 3 kinds of charging handles. You have different barrels, different handguards, few other parts that you can customize a little bit. I will add a few parts in the future, but for now those are the ones that are available right now. And this image you can see an explosion drawing of the whole thing, how everything fits together. Now I want to tell you the kind of hardware that you will need to complete this build. You'll need screws, nuts and washers. As you can see on this image, you have a bunch of countersunk hex screws. I recommend pausing the video and checking out what you have. If you don't have these kind of screws, I recommend going on Amazon or a different website and buying one of these screw kits. Those are really helpful, especially for future builds, if you want to build other things. So as I mentioned, those are the screws. You additionally need the screws that are provided with the AAP-01, but you should have these. This way I didn't list them here. Okay, let's start with the receiver. You will need the printed receiver part. It should look like this. And for the next step you will need 4 nuts. You will need 2 M5 nuts and 2 M2 nuts. You will see this in a second. There you go. The nuts will be installed in the receiver. You see the 2 M2 nuts have to go in this place. They will be used for the bolt catch. And the M5 nuts have to be installed in the bag. As you can see here, they click right in place. You need to do this for both sides. Once these nuts are installed, you can take the empty upper receiver shell of the AAP-01 and slide it in there from the bag. Sometimes it's a little tight, but it should work out. For the next steps, you take the inner barrel and click it in like this. It's a little finicky. You have to shift the upper receiver a little so it goes into place. You will see there is like a little bracket on the inside of the receiver. In my case it broke off, but that's fine. If it breaks at your receiver, this is alright. It will work anyway, but if you want the extra strength, you can install the little screws that come with the AAP-01 through the little holes on the side right here. You can put them right through there and screw in the barrel. After that you click everything in place. You push everything forward so the holes line up. Alright, for the next step you will need the 2 M3 screws that come with the AAP as well. They go usually into these spots, as you can tell. You will just install them as usual. So that's not a big deal. You do that. Alright, then you will need another M5 nut. This will go into this little slot. As you can see here, it will slide right into there. You have to make sure that it lines up with the hole at the top, as you can see here. Just make sure the screw will fit into there. Now you can take your bolt. Now is a good time to put some extra oil on there to make it slide easier. It slips right into there. Now for the next step, you have the bolt pin. This is an important part. It keeps the bolt from flying out. So you gotta slide it in there from the top. And you mount this part with 2 M3x20 screws. And they will thread right into the threads from the upper receiver of the AAP-01. Now your upper receiver should be mounted correctly. You can test everything, you can check if everything slides well. For the next step, you will have the bolt catch, and you mount it with a M2 washer and a M2x8 screw. The washer goes into this place. Then you'll put it into there like this and screw everything together. You will have to do this for both sides. Obviously, you can choose between different lengths of the bolt catch if this one is too small or too short for you. There are different lengths you can choose from. Here you can tell it's mounted on both sides. Once we're done with that, we can take the next part. This is the bolt housing and the stock. And now we will mount them together with a, again, M5 nut. It will go in the back of here. You can tell there's a little slot for that. It can be hard to get it all the way in there. I would recommend using like a stick that fits and push it all the way through there. Now we have 2 M3 nuts. They will go down into this place. As you can see, they will again just click into there. Now we can mount these things together. Here you will have an M5x20 screw. And this should fit tightly. Then you take a hex key, or in my case, I sometimes use a screwdriver that fits perfectly into there. So you just want to, well, screw it together. Okay, everything should be really sturdy right now, nothing should wobble. Now we can take the butt plate. It clicks onto there, sometimes with a little force. If it doesn't want to go in there, I recommend using a little sandpaper to make it fit. Now we'll need 2 M5 screws. If I'm correct, those are the M5x16 screws. 2 of them, and you screw them in just like that. For the next part, you will need the grip rod and the lower receiver of the AAP-01. The grip rod slides right into the pistol handle, as we'll see in a second. But first you will need a M4 nut. This goes into this place. Also snaps right in. If it doesn't want to go in all the way, use a tool and push it in there all the way. Alright, as mentioned, this part slides right into there. And next you will need a M4 screw. Right now I forgot what the length is, but you will see at the beginning of the video what kind of M4 screw you will need, and you screw it right into there. Now you can take the upper receiver and click everything together. Now it should look like this. For the next step, you will take your stock assembly and slide it right onto the receiver and the grip rod. This is a little finicky, especially if you painted your parts. This joint right here at the top can be a little tight. I recommend using a little sandpaper to smooth it out so everything like fits together and doesn't break. So you want to slide everything together, as you can see here. And yeah, make sure there isn't too much pressure anywhere so nothing breaks. Now you will need two M3x20 screws. They go into this place. We installed the nuts earlier, so you can just screw this stuff together. Here we have another M5x20 screw, and here we have M5x12 screws. You screw everything together. The ones on the sides don't need to be that tight. If you over tighten them, it will tighten up the bolt, and the bolt will not travel very well, so don't give it that much of a tightening. For the next step, you'll see there is an M5x8 screw. It's inserted into the charging handle, and the charging handle is inserted into the whole assembly like this. For this part, you will need an angled hex key, and you will tighten the screw like this in this area. Once everything is tightened, you can try out everything. If everything works, the bolt catch should work. The bolt should travel without resistance. Yeah. For the next step, you will need the barrel. You can use either the barrel that comes with the kit, or you can use any 14mm counterclockwise barrel extension that should screw on there. The important part is to break in the thread. You want to screw it on and off till there isn't much resistance. The same goes for the handguard. You don't want to screw it on there right away because you will break the thread. You want to screw it on lightly, then unscrew it again, and work your way up the thread until there isn't really much resistance. Once you're done with that, you can install the screws. Those are M3x16 screws. You will need 8 of them. You put them in there like this and tighten them up, and this is how it should look like at the end. Yeah, once everything is finished, you can take either the flash hider that is provided with the files, or any other flash hider you have laying around, or a suppressor, or well, everything you want to screw on there. Tracer units. I'll show you in a second how it looks like with a mock suppressor I have at home. This is, well, a not 3D printed mock suppressor, and you can see it fits very good on the thread. Yeah. If you want to secure the barrel, which I recommend with the longer handguard versions, you want to put in the stabilizer at the end. And here you can see all the accessories you can mount on there. The Picantina rail works really well with well, standard parts that go on there. Here at the bottom you can see the slot for changing the firing mode. You can do that right here. And this is basically the function of this whole thing.